So we're in the sanctuary of the historic 1876 Addis Israel Synagogue, the biggest thing in our collections and the centerpiece of our new museum. And we're here for the first time after it moved down the street 2 weeks ago, and it looks great inside. So the synagogue was built in 1876 by the Addis Israel congregation, and they built this building in just a couple of months in time for the nation's centennial. I thought it was important for the nation's capital to have its very own synagogue that was built for that purpose. The Addis Israel congregation was the second congregation in Washington, but the first to build from the ground up a brand new building. So they put this up and dedicated it on June 9th, and President Ulysses Grant attended the dedication. It served as a sanctuary for the congregation for about 30 years, and then they outgrew. It's not a very big space. So they outgrew this and built a new synagogue and moved away, and this was repurposed into St. Sophia's Greek Orthodox Church, and then several other churches were here. And then this sanctuary that we're standing in was a warehouse for some of the retail shops that had opened up on the first floor.
Well, the pews filled the sanctuary here. So the men would have been sitting downstairs on pews and the women upstairs in the balcony. The rabbi would have likely been up on the bima here, and the Torahs would have been in the ark that's right behind here. Obviously, we're in a temporary situation here with our air ducts coming into the space now, but you can kind of imagine the creak of these floorboards, the same floorboards that were here back in 1876, filled with children, noises, praying, a real tight-knit group.
We have some wonderful stories in our collection of children describing running errands back and forth between their mother and father. So they would go up the twisting stairs up to the women's balcony where the women were sitting up there in the non-air-conditioned sanctuary, fanning themselves off. So we have a couple stories of people who remembered being in the synagogue in those days.
So you can kind of imagine, right, the women and girls going up the stairs to the very hot balcony where they could peer over at the men in the congregation praying down below, and sort of the chatter of conversation. I can't even imagine 150 people packed into this space.
And the women were seated on these pews, and you don't really see a whole lot when you're sitting up here, but it's like a whole other world.